The biggest threat to the industry in terms of losing the talent is losing the innovation and the creativity that comes with the new generation and even a lot of the existing, I'll say, R&D scientists, even on a day-to-day basis on a process level. If we start to bleed that creativity and that energy that drives innovation, we've already started to see it go towards other industries. For example, nobody wants, I shouldn't say nobody, I say a majority of young people want to live in urban areas. Guess where OEMs are? Not in urban areas. Guess where suppliers are? Not in urban areas. So we are starting to see a little bit of bleeding already where it's getting harder and harder to attract talent for OEMs and suppliers because they're in suburban areas or they're in the middle. And this is why most cities are starting to see a rise in either high-rise construction or availability of apartments versus the construction of new homes in suburban areas because people are migrating back to the cities. So the biggest threat is being in the right, not being in the right location, and losing all the talent that doesn't want to come work where you are. And that's going to stifle growth, and that's going to stifle us being able to build what customers want.
Excellent, thank you. Why is it important for companies within the automotive industry to remain flexible? Why is that so important?
Because if you think of the three generations, baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, and in fact now Gen Z is growing up as well. The way these generations grew up was very different. What their expectations are from the work environment and what they want personally, what motivates them and drives them is completely different. So if you're not flexible as an organization, you're going to get fixated on one or the other model, but you have a blend of three, soon to be four generations in your workplace. So in order to be successful as an organization, you're going to have to be flexible and adaptable to different types of people in your organization. And in fact, the biggest and the hardest change is going to be at the top, because in most part, the leadership is the most senior of all the four generations, and they're going to have the hardest switch.
Thank you. And this is a bit of a tough one, but what advice would you give to a young person who is thinking of joining the automotive logistics industry?
I think the advice I'll give is it's probably the most transformational time period that has ever been in the automotive industry. If you really think about the car, in the last 40 years, it's still been in an internal combustion engine. It's still been driven by a driver. It still gets used about 5% of the time, sits at the home or your office parking lot 95% of the time. All those things are about to change. It's about to blow up. And it's going to be completely different. And that's where it's going to be so much fun to see it change and actually create what we want for the future. So by being in the industry, you actually get creative, not just be on the receiving end of getting what has been created by someone else.